And we welcome you live here on the West Coast here in Las Vegas. We're live here from Las Vegas, Nevada for the season 1 Las Vegas Grand Prix. It's the second race of the U.S. doubleheader. We obviously went to Coda last weekend and that was David Albon who came out on top back in Coda. Yeah, qualifying has just gotten underway. We'll have a 18-minute qualifying session, and then we'll go to a 25-lap race here in Las Vegas. We got 8 drivers racing tonight, so a fairly small field. It looks like just this weekend wasn't great for the drivers either. But yeah, we have 8 drivers here. Still not a horrible field though. So yeah, still will make for a pretty solid showing here in Las Vegas. As there's Landon Bear now heading out on track. There's Trevor Massey in the Ferrari here on track as he heads down into the sweeping corner. This track goes right next to the MSG sphere. You see right there, that chicane doesn't show it very well, but it is right next to the sphere. And then you go down this straight here. It's a really fast track here in Vegas. It's a really fast street course. So there's not a lot of margin for mistakes here at this track. Because if you do make a mistake, then that could be raced over with how fast this track is. Can't really make any mistakes. Cedar Messi heads down the Las Vegas Strip. This is obviously one of the most famous places in the country, the Las Vegas Strip. That's one of the longest straightaways on the calendar. Then you head down into the braking zone here. Little chicane right here. And heading back onto the front stretch goes Trevor Massey in the Ferrari. Going to start his qualifying lap. Trevor Massey heads to the line. Going to start his qualifying lap, his first run here in qualifying. As he heads down into turn 1 here. And down into the sweeping corner here, really fast through here, and then a DRS straight down this still pretty long straightaway. He's right on board with Trevor Massey. Keeps it nice and tidy right there. And heading down into the chicane here, you might be able to see the sphere. There's the sphere right there. And down into these sweeping corners. Once again, Trevor Massey. He's like a pretty tidy lap for the Ferrari. There's also Royce Crown. He's actually on the mediums. That's interesting. Obviously, Trevor Massey's on the softs. He heads up to the line here. Or no, on the strip, sorry. He's on the strip. As he heads down into the DRS zone right here. The Ferrari seems, again, like a pretty nice and tidy lap. He's going to be the first car over the line. Trevor Massey. And now, actually, this time he's going to head down the front stretch and heading up to the line. Trevor Massey will see what the first time is here, set in qualifying. Trevor Massey heads over the line. Where will the Ferrari go? He goes to 131.6. Not sure if that's a good lap or not. We'll find out. Here comes Landon Bear now, heading down the front stretch. Let's see if he can go any faster than Trevor Massey. Here he comes through the kink and up to the line. Was a 131.9, 3/10 behind Trevor Massey. There's David Albon, last weekend's winner. He's actually on an out lap. He's going to start his flyer now. The Aston Martin starts his flyer with 13 minutes left in qualifying. Here comes Gatti Elimini heading up to the line. Will he go faster? No, he's only going to go to second with a 131.7. Royce Crown 132.3 as David Albon heads down this straightaway. Also, I do want to mention this. I was going to mention it earlier, but Sam Lewis, because you might notice that that Jonathan Ibbett is not racing tonight. Sam Lewis is officially champion of the world in Season 1 of Formula Allegiant. A little bit of oh, that was straight David Albon that slapped the wall. A little bit of an anticlimactic way to end the championship, but Sam Lewis definitely deserves that championship. We'll get an interview from him later in the post-race interviews, and he'll be able to do some donuts after the race because he is officially champion of the world in Season 1. But Season 2 is definitely going to be really interesting with the championship battle, with how close the field is without Sam Lewis racing. It's definitely really anyone's game here. It's Michael Mora also top of the board. He had a pretty solid run in Coda. He's looking to back that up here in Las Vegas. 12 minutes left in qualifying. CCS Landon Barr now heading into the pits. David Albon over the line. Goes fastest to a 1:31.5. Just barely ahead of Michael Mora. The times are very close here tonight in Las Vegas. As Christian Severson, I believe, is going to be the next over the line. Christian Severson, we'll see where he goes. He had a pretty solid run. He got second in Coda behind David Albon. So he's had a pretty solid last few races. He's looking to keep that momentum going. Christian Severson heads over the line here. Into the can-can, heads over the line. Christian Severson, where will he go? Goes up to fourth with a 1:31.7. And Elijah Wheeler, the last car over the line for the first runs. He goes up to seventh with a 1:32.0, half a second behind the Aston Martin. Yeah, this is going to be a really interesting race. Just seeing these qualifying times, oh, geez, that's a little bit of a moment from Michael Mora. Might have hit the pit wall. Not sure what happened there, but yeah, this race is going to be definitely very interesting to watch because the times are separated by only less than a second from first through eighth. This is going to be really interesting. It's probably just going to be a DRS train, which is what I expected here because the straightaways are so long. There's so much straightaways that, I mean, just having the DRS, if you just stay in the DRS, you're really just going to have a chance to win. You don't have to be the fastest. So it's going to be interesting to watch here. It's going to be a lot like Austria with those DRS trains. Trevor Massey has started his second run here. We'll put up the lap data. So Trevor Massey also having a pretty solid qualifying so far with 10 minutes left in qualifying. He's third, showing some pretty solid speed, only a tenth behind David Albon. So it's going to be interesting. Really, anyone can get pole here. There's also Royce Crown went up to P4 with a 1:31.7. We missed that. Royce Crown racing tonight. He's been pretty solid all season long. He's one of the first drivers, or one of the veterans, kinda, you could say, in this league. Even though it's only season 1, you can still say he's a little bit of a veteran because he's been racing since about the start, the first few races. Well, a lot of these drivers join mid-season or late in the season. There's 9.5 minutes left in qualifying. David Albon heads out for his second run in qualifying. Trevor Massey, we'll see if he is improving. He heads into the braking zone here. Turn 3 into turn 4. He is improving by about half a tenth as he heads down through the chicane here. And down this straightaway, you can really abuse the track limits in the chicane due to being obviously standard corner cutting. So you can kind of abuse it, go a little bit on the inside of the curves. Heading onto the strip here, got to get a good run. Heading onto the strip as here comes the Ferrari. Oh, that's also that's a Sauber that's warming up the tires right there, right in front of Trevor Massey. Gonna get a little bit of a tow, though, so that might help Trevor Massey. He's up a tenth, and that's good enough for Pulse right now, or a provisional pole. Is down into the braking zone here, heading into the chicane. And Trevor Massey might be able to get to provisional pole. With 8 minutes left in qualifying, Trevor Massey heads up to the line. Trevor Massey improving over the line. Trevor Massey goes only second with a 1:31.5. I thought it was gonna be Paul, but it was not quite there. 9 thousandths off of Paul right now, but here comes the Aston Martin. David Albon gonna start his lap, looking to improve his time. The Aston Martin heads over the line. David Albon, as he heads into the braking zone, turn 1, looking to improve his lap time. And he's also looking to go 3 in a row here tonight in Las Vegas and sweep both U.S. races. We've only seen 2 different winners this season. We obviously saw Sam Lewis for like 14 races in a row, and then from race 15, we've seen David Albon win the rest. As also David Albon, what a lap this is for David Albon. He is up 2/10 on his best. And he might get a little bit of tow from the Ferrari also. As David Albon heads down through here, through the sweeping corners. David Albon, this is a really good lap from the Aston Martin. David Albon heads onto the strip. He's improving by almost 4/10. That would put him close to the 130s range. David Albon, we might see some more David Albon dominance tonight. As that's also Elijah Wheeler that was the Ferrari in front of him. As here comes David Albon heading onto the front stretch, improving by a lot. Getty Elimini goes up to the top of the board, but the Aston Martin of David Albon will go up to the top of the board by barely, though, over Getty Elimini. 131 flat for David Albon and Getty Elimini. The track's definitely getting faster here. It's Michael Mora on his lap here. Heading into the sweeping corners, Michael Mora. He's 4th on the board right now. Not sure if he's improving. Here he comes, heading onto the strip. Here comes Michael Mora in the V-carb. He is not quite improving. He's staying up relatively the same, but if he can find time in the final corners, he could maybe get up to P3. Michael Mora heads down the strip into the DRS zone. And heading down into the braking zone here. The final chicane. Will Michael Mora be able to find any time? A little bit of a slide there. Doesn't look like it's a very good lap for Michael Mora. He's going to abort the lap, actually. Might just go for another one, or he might just go into the pits. Royce Crown going to start his flyer. 5 minutes left in qualifying. We're going to start to see people making their final runs here qualifying pretty shortly. Within a few minutes' time. As Royce Crown heads down this straightaway, he's 5th on the board with a 1:31.7, trying to improve that lap time. He's got 7/10 to find if he's going to try to get to pole. He's up 2/10 right now, though. That would put him up to maybe 3rd. As Royce Crown heads off the chicane. Passes by the sphere and heads down into the sweeping corners. And heading onto the strip, here comes Royce Crown. Is he improving anymore? Royce Crown up 3/10. That would put him into the 131.4 range. So still, that would be about 3/10 off of Paul, or sorry, 4/10 off of Paul. As here comes Royce Crown, heading down the strip and heading into the braking zone here, the final chicane. Royce Crown seems pretty tidy right there. That might give him some time. Seemed very smooth through there. Royce Crown heads onto the front stretch, into the kink. He's actually going to go into the pits. Royce Crown. He was improving by a lot, but he's going to go into the pits. And I think the reason why he did that is because he wouldn't have been able to make another run if he had went through with that time. So he's going to have to get in and out of the pit lane here. He should have enough time. Michael Mora. Not sure if this is actually a lap from Michael Mora. It's not. He charged up his Yaris that lap. Now he's gonna go for a flyer here. The V car. Michael Mora has through turn one into turn two. Michael Mora fourth on the board right now with a 1:31.5. Got half a second to find here if he's gonna try to get up to pole position with 2 minutes left in qualifying. Those softs got to be worn though. He's been out there for a little bit. He's up a 10th. Not quite good enough, though. Michael Mora, that would put him up into the 3rd position. But considering most people are going to improve, he's going to have to improve a little bit more than that. So I'm not sure what's happening here. These two stopped on the track. Richard Severson and, who was that? That was... I believe that was one of the Saubers. That was an odd moment. Not sure why they were stopped on the track. But getting back to the times here, Gadielmany is on his out lamp. Is also the Aston Martin of David Albon. He just went out on track. So it's probably going to be between these two for pole position. But David Albon went out a lot later, so he's going to have a little bit of a faster track. We'll see if that plays out to his advantage. I think these two are going to get into the 134, or sorry, 130s. Michael Mora goes up to P2 with a 131. Oh, that's a good lap from the V-Carb. Good lap there. That puts him to P2. Splits the Aston Martin and the Kick Sauber. This is going to warm up his tires once again. I don't think, yeah, he's not going to be able to make another run, though, or make another lap. So that's probably going to be it for Michael Mora in qualifying. As you see it, most people on their outlaps about to start their laps here. Gadielmany starts his flyer lap. With a minute left in qualifying, Gadielmany heads through turn one into turn two. Gadielmany needs a good lap here if he's going to try to get up to pole position here. The Kick Sauber third on the board, but he's definitely in striking range for pole position. The Sauber heads through here, heading into the chicane next to the sphere. He is improving just barely though. Not enough. That would still keep him at P3. Look like a little bit of a rough chicane though right there from Gadielmany. This might not be, we'll see. I don't know if this is going to be an improvement from the Sauber. Royce Crown, 5-second penalty. Oh, there's trouble on the strip. There's trouble. I don't know what happened there, but the Ferrari. That's Elijah Wheeler with no front wing. Royce Crown. I'm not sure what happened there, but getting back to the battle for pole position, Gadielmany is not improving. He's gonna have to find some time in this final chicane, and I think he's running low on ERS also. Qualifying, the time is run out. Gadielmany heads through the final corner. Oh, he goes deep, and Gadielmany is gonna have to settle for third position. Maybe he might fall down though, depending on how much the Ferrari of Trevor Massey is improving. Is he improving though? We're gonna find out as he heads up to the line. Trevor Massey, will this be an improvement from the Ferrari? Heading up to the line, Trevor Massey doesn't look, was slightly an improvement, but still half a second off of Gadielmany's time. Now it's up to the Aston Martin here. He's pretty much got pole position unless Christian Severson has anything to say about it. He heads over the line. Not going to be able to get to pole position though to 131.2, and on pole is going to be the Aston Martin of David Albon. He doesn't even need to finish this lap, but he's going to go for it anyway. Will he be able to get into the 130s here? As he heads through the chicane here. Last car of the line. The Aston Martin heads onto the front stretch. This looks like a pretty good lap from the Aston Martin. Will it be into the 130s? Yes, it was. What a lap for the Aston Martin. We obviously knew he was going to be on pole position, but that was a really good lap. If I saw that correctly, that was a 130.6. Yes, it was. What a lap. What a lap from David Albon. But Your qualifying results on your screen now. It's David Albon, Michael Mora, Gatti Elmany, Christian Severson, Kevin Massey, Royce Crown, Landon Burnell, and Elijah Wheeler. So what a qualifying that was. But now we have a 25 lap race to get to here on the streets of Las Vegas. All right. We'll show. But what a qualifying, and we'll see if we have a great race to back up that amazing qualifying. Is all right. We're down at the track here in Las Vegas. It's time for the Las Vegas Grand Prix. 5 races remain here in the Formula Allegiant season. Obviously, Sam Lewis has been crowned the world champion, but we still have P2 up for grabs here in the championship, and yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how everything shakes out. It's all right. Everyone getting their setups in. It's all right. Here we go. Formation lap about to get underway. All right. Formation lap gets underway. It's obviously going to be the Aston Martin leading us here. He's going to be starting on pole position. Yeah, it's going to be important to get temperature in these tires here. This track is definitely pretty cold with it being a night race here. So you got to get temperature in the tires. Let's see what tire compounds everyone is on. It's mediums for everyone except for the V-carb of Michael Mora. On the hard compound tires, I'm not sure how big the tire wear is going to be tonight, so we'll see how this goes. Michael Mora is just apparently overtaking on the formation lap part then. But, yeah. Michael Mora on the hard compound tires, everyone else on the medium. It's all right. Drivers going to get temperature in their tires. And we'll go racing here, 25 laps. It's going to be a fairly short one here in Las Vegas. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see. We'll see if my prediction of having a DRS tray throughout this whole race is correct. I'm pretty confident it will be, but you never know. David Albon's very fast. He might be able to pull away. All right. Here we go. David Albon rounds the final corners here on this formation lap. We are ready to go here from Las Vegas. I see a bunch of weaving throughout the field, just trying to get temperature in these tires. See, David Albon isn't really doing it though. David Albon lines up on the grid. As everyone actually is going to line up on the grid here. It's all Christian Severson and Gatti Elmany. They missed their grid box. Michael Mora also. But all right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And it's lights on. Away we go. We're underway for the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Here we go, heading down at turn 1. It's a good jump from the Aston Martin of David Albon. They all fight positions heading through turn 1. Oh my, there's a bunch of wheel bagging back here with the Ferrari and the V-carbs. We're heading down this straightaway here. There's going to be a lot of slipstream into play here. A lot of defending. Michael Moore defends. Here goes the V-carb. The other V-carb of Christian Severson down the inside of the Ferrari as Gatti Elmany gets up to P2. This is the V-carb of Michael Moore. Goes a little bit wide. Here comes Christian Severson round the outside of his teammate. And Christian Severson goes up to the podium places as they all make their way out of the chicane. Gatti Elmany right there on the rear gearbox of David Albon. As here we go, you see everyone flying by. There's Royce Crown right on the rear gearbox of Elijah Wheeler. Both Ferraris 5th and 6th. Not really the start they both the Ferraris wanted. But here we go, down the strip here. A lot of slipstream's going to be into play here. Will the Aston Martin be able to hold on to the lead? Lots of defending, trying to break the slipstream. But here comes Gadiomini. Will he make the move? He's got to run. He goes to the inside. Gadiomini. Will he take the lead of the GP? Here we go, side by side here. This could get tight. As the Aston Martin stays in first position. As here comes Gadiomini. Will he have another go at it? Here he comes to the inside into the kink. Lap 1 complete, side by side for the between the top two. Here we go, Gadiomini side by side with the Aston Martin. Will the Aston Martin hang it on the outside? Side by side, still for the lead. Here we go, crossover from Gadiomini, not able to get there though. He might be under attack from the V-Carb, biting here. The other V-Carb, Michael Moore, trying to get to the inside of Elijah Wheeler. Lots of defending down to the braking zone. This is incredible racing here. Just everyone fighting for position. So much confidence on the brakes with these moves as the V-Carb, Christian Severson gets up to P2. As here we go. Lap 2 here. Oh, that was a little mistake from the V-Carb or something. Something happened. Now they're at risk of losing the DRS to David Albon. Doesn't look like they will. They're still pretty well in DRS range. Is Christian Severson right there? He might be in striking distance here. He gained a little bit heading into the strip. Oh no, it's a Williams around. Williams around the back. That's Royce Crown. Royce Crown goes for a spin, and now he's out of the lead pack. But looking back at the front here, well, you see the lights on the back of these back of the cars. That shows you that the ERS is already running low. Definitely hard to manage the ERS around this place. That's one of the biggest challenges here. But here we go. Lap 2, about to go on to lap 3. Big DRS train, just as I expected. Here we go, lap 3. David Albon says fast lap of the race. But here comes Christian Severson with the slipstream here. Gonna have dirty air through these two sweeping corners. Here we go, Christian Severson right on the rear gearbox of the Aston Martin, David Albon. It's a big DRS train. You see, that's 5 cars under a blanket. Then you have a 2-car pack right here. That's Landon Burnout and Elijah Wheeler. But here we go, looking back at the front. Christian Severson takes the lead of the Grand Prix. Christian Severson goes to the lead. But he's going to be in trouble down the strip because the Aston Martin, David Albon, is going to be right there with the DRS. He might lose multiple places because of this. You don't really want to be the leader heading onto the strip because you're going to be in trouble with everyone having slipstream and DRS behind you. Here we go. Christian Severson definitely in trouble because here comes the Aston Martin. David Albon goes. Oh, he doesn't make the move yet. He stays in the slipstream. There's also Trevor Massey gets up to the podium places. But here comes the Aston Martin to the outside with the DRS. Takes the lead. He takes the lead of the GP. Here comes Trevor Massey on the brakes. Oh, there's a little bit of contact. And there's a little bit of ghosting back there as Christian Severson falls all the way down to 4th. Christian Severson down to P4, right next to his teammate, his V-Carb teammate, Michael Moore. But now David Albon running away a little bit from this. David Albon, you know he has the best pace here. He's breaking out of the DRS on Trevor Massey. But Trevor Massey still it might be possible for him to get back in that DRS range, but it's going to be tough. Here we go. Yeah, kind of expected this. The Aston Martin, David Albon starting to run away. Just had the best pace ever since Sam Lewis left. But the Ferrari of Trevor Massey still trying to hold on to P2. But here comes Gadiomini to the outside through the sweeping corners. Gadiomini goes up to P2, but they're 2.2 seconds behind the Aston Martin of David Albon. Now Gadiomini might be in trouble here. I know Gadiomini might have the pace to get up to the Aston Martin, get in DRS range, but he's gonna have so many people charging behind him, just like what happened to Christian Severson. He might lose multiple places here. Here we go, down into the braking zone here. Oh, that's that. The Ferrari goes back up to P2. He gets back up to P2. The other Ferrari makes a lunge to the inside of Landon Barano. They make contact, and around goes Barano. As that might have been an illegal overtake from the Ferrari. He lets Landon Barano go. Lots of chaos happening in the back, but Trevor Massey trying to stay in that DRS range. They gained a little bit as Christian Severson set the fastest lap of the race. We have lap 5 here with 21 laps to go here in this Las Vegas Grand Prix. David Albon running away right now. Here comes Gadi Elmini to the inside into the braking zone. They're just going to lose a lot of time to David Albon fighting like this. Here we go. Gadi Elmini goes back up to P2. Just looking to run away from that Ferrari, but it's kind of hard when they have the slipstream and DRS. As here we go, heading into the sweeping corners here. Michael Mora's gone up to P4. The V-carb of Christian Severson down to P5. Here we go, down the strip once again. Gadley might have enough of a gap to stay in front, but I don't think so. Here we go, Michael Mora looking to the outside of the Ferrari. Is that hard compound tire starting to come in already? There's a lot of fighting resistance. Here they come on the Sauber. As here comes Trevor Massey, goes out to P2 once again. Here we go. Down onto the front stretch once again to start lap 6. Trevor Massey went up to P2 once again. Will Gadi Elmini go back up to P2? Here he comes to the inside. Here comes Gadi Elmini into the braking zone, though not quite able to get there. Here comes Michael Mora to the outside, not able to get there though into turn 2. Royce Crown into the pit lane. Not sure if this is a scheduled pit stop or not. But he adds into the pit lane. Gonna go on to the hard tires, but looking back here, oh, that's more fighting the V-carbs. They're 3 wide, and no, that's into the wall. That's into the wall. Michael Mora out of the race. His safety car is out. Michael Mora out of the Las Vegas Grand Prix. 3 into 1 just does not work there, and Michael Mora gets the worst of it. He is out of the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Safety car is out. Just such aggressive racing. It was honestly bound to happen. And on lap 6 of the Las Vegas Grand Prix, we get a safety car. And this kind of throws everyone back into the fight here. That's not what David Albon wanted to see, because he was running away from those guys. So that's got to be frustrating for the Aston Martin, but you know he has the pace. He can probably get that gap going once again. I'd imagine a lot of people are going to take a cheap pit stop right here. It's going to be a long way to go, though, with the hard tire. It is, I was going to say especially for Michael Mora, but he's out with the mediums. But, yep, you see that's the Aston Martin of David Albon heads into the pit lane. Everyone's pretty much going to go into the pit lane. Pit lane is going to be busy. There's a little bit of wing damage on the Ferrari. Is he going to repair that on this pit stop here? He will, so he's going to lose some track position due to that. As David Albon easily going to leave the pits in first. As it's going to be Christian Severson going to come out second. Gadi Elmini third. The Ferrari Trevor Massey P4. Landon Barano in this pit stall. Was Elijah Wheeler going to be out of the pits? No. Landon Barano P5, and it's going to be the Ferrari of Elijah Wheeler P7. As it's going to be also Royce Crown getting up to P6, and that safety car really helped him out. That's really what he needed because, yeah, I mean, he pit really early. I don't know if it was scheduled or not, but if it wasn't, that safety car definitely saved him. All right, here we go. Under safety car here in the Las Vegas Grand Prix. We've seen one retirement, Michael Mora, which brought out the safety car. Yeah, what crazy racing this has been in Las Vegas. All right. Likely gonna the safety car is likely gonna come in next lap, I would imagine. We're still gonna have another lap under the safety car. But yeah, looking at the point standings here while we are under safety car. Obviously, Sam Lewis is going to have the World Championship. So, Sam Lewis, World Champion. But, yeah, Sam Lewis obviously stuck at 350 points because he is obviously not racing anymore. And then Jonathan Hebbett, P2, who, yeah, he's likely going to stay P2 with 214 points. Then Maddox Beard in P3 with 143 points. Then Isaiah Hamilton with 132 points, who's not racing. And Royce Krohn 127 points. He might gain a lot of points here. If he were to win this race, he might be able to get up to P3. And then David Albon in P6 with 126 points, 1 point behind Royce Krohn. So he also might be able to get to P3. And then Gadjamni with 67 points, Jaden Sadak with 63 points, Christian Severson with 57 points. Then Trevor Massey, actually I would say Ryan Searles in P10, and then Trevor Massey in P12, I don't know where, and Jack Ward P11. And Trevor Massey P12 with 40 points, tied with Landon Barrett now, and then Elijah Wheeler with 36 points. Then from there, just pretty much a lot of reserve drivers. But yeah, safety car likely going to come in this lap. I'm also going to check the constructors standings here. It's alright. So yeah, Red Bull obviously going to get the constructors championship. We're going to have to do the math with that. Haven't quite done the math with if Red Bull has like a constructors championship, but yeah, Red Bull has 504 points. Alpine has 263 points. I think Red Bull's pretty much got the World Constructors Championship. And then Williams with 252 points. Mercedes with 174 points. Aston Martin with 154 points. Sauber with 102 points. Ferrari with 102 points. They're both tied. The Racing Bulls with 82 points. Haas with 37 points, and McLaren with 25 points. I will say, what a comeback this has been for Sauber. You remember at the start of the season, they were pretty far behind in the constructor standings, but they've turned it around late in the season, and now they might be able to get a pretty solid constructors finish. But yeah, safety car in this lap here is all right. We're going to go back racing here. It's all right. Here we go. David Albon going to lead us to the green here. We're going to go to lap 9 here in Las Vegas. It's all right. Here we go. For some reason we're going side by side. Don't know what we're doing there. But here we go. Back racing here in Las Vegas. It's going to be David Albon and Christian Severson. Christian Severson already on the attack because here he comes down the inside for the lead. Side by side, everyone on equal tires. Here we go. Side by side, wheel banging. They both touch. As here we go, Christian Severson on the outside of David Albon. Side by side, it's a drag race down the straightaway. Here we go, down into the braking zone. You're still side by side. Will Severson be able to hang on the outside? Touches the wall, brushes the wall. It's heading down into the end of here. Christian Severson on the inside as the inside to the chicane, but David Albon hangs on the outside. Still contact as here we go down into here. The Ferrari and the Sauber side by side. Trevor Massey up to P3 as Christian Severson is P2. Right behind David Albon, right on the rear gearbox. He's going to have slipstream down the strip. Oh no, Christian Severson out. Christian Severson is out of the session. A safety car is out once again. It's a double DNF for VCARB. Christian Severson hits the wall. just went too deep into the corner. He hit the wall and got hit again from behind. And that ends his race in Las Vegas. And it is a nightmare for V-Carb. Wow. Safety car is back out in Las Vegas. This is chaos. Trevor Massey's gonna head. I think Trevor Massey heading back into the pits with wing damage. He's gonna lose a lot of track position. Gonna fall all the way down to P6. Man, such disappointment for the V Carbs though. They're gonna both have a double DNF, so that's unfortunate for the V Carbs. But all right, well, back under safety car once again. Now it's going to be up to really Gatti Elimini, pretty much, and Trevor Massey to try to take the fight to the Aston Martin of David Albon. Yeah, that's kind of unfortunate because I feel like Christian Severson was probably the best contender to contend with David Albon. That's really unfortunate though for both V Carbs, but. All right, back under safety car here. Got 2 safety cars within the span of like 5 laps, so yeah, let's hope these drivers can clean it up. All right, here, drivers behind the safety car once again. It's all right. Here we go. Now, a whole ton to talk about right now under safety car. But yeah, looking at the next few races, we are going to have 5 or 4 races remaining after this, with 2 sprint weekends. One of them might be cut though, because Sam Lewis is champion of the world, so there's a chance we'll cut one just to save time. But yeah, so we're gonna have Abu Dhabi after this, then Saudi Arabia, and then Qatar. So that's gonna be a triple header with the Middle East races. So yeah, Abu Dhabi, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar. Qatar will be is planned to be a sprint weekend, and then Brazil to end off the season, which is also planned to be a sprint weekend. But we may cut that. It's either gonna be that or Qatar that may be cut. So, yep. All right. You see, pit window's open, but I don't think anyone's gonna take that. Trevor Massey back into the pit lane. I see what he's doing. He's going back onto his hard tires and repairing the wing again. So Trevor Massey goes back onto his hard compound tires. Obviously, he was in dead last anyway. Alright, safety car is going to be in this lap most likely. So we're going to go back racing on lap 12 here in Las Vegas. So, alright. Here we go. Oh, that's a Williams. That's a Williams that went too deep. That's Royce Crown, who goes into the back of Landon Bear now. Or no, that might be Gatti Elimini. It was one of the Saubers that Royce Crown went into the back of, and now the Williams is left with wing damage. Now he's got to hope the safety car doesn't come in this lap, so he can repair that wing. But it likely will come in this lap, so that's unfortunate for the Williams. And I also think, did I see that correctly? Never mind. Okay, I thought Gatti Elimini also had damage, but just the angle. So, yeah, lap 11 though here in Las Vegas. David Albon, the leader here in Vegas, looking to sweep the U.S. races. So, all right, here we go. Safety car gonna most likely come in this lap. So here we go. A lot of tire weaving here. Here we go. Will the safety car be in the lap? We'll get the notification here shortly. If it is. Safety car. Yep, safety car in this lap here. Alright, so driver's going to let the safety car go to the pit lane. And we'll go back racing here. Will Gaddy Elmany have anything for David Albon here? For some reason, we're going side by side once again on the safety car. All right, here we go. I have no idea what we're doing. We're just going double file for some reason. But all right, here we go. Back racing here in Las Vegas. Here we go. Good jump from the Aston Martin. Gaddy Elmany trying to get there, but here comes Royce Crown to the inside with wing damage. Elmany going to cross him back over those. They might have saw some bodywork flying back there. That was a Ferrari. That was Elijah Wheeler, who has a front end play off. But here we go, down into here. Here comes Gaddy Elmany looking to the inside of Royce Crown. Will he be able to get there? Royce Crown he might go a little deep. No. Oh, Gaddy Elmany, he gets hit. He gets hit by Landon Barrett now. Here comes Trevor Massey. Trevor Massey looking on the outside, not able to get there. Royce Crown trying to stay in that DRS range, but he has the wing damage. It's just not really going to be possible. As here we go, down through the wavy corners. Royce Crown up to P2 right now, but he has front wing damage, so I don't know how long he'll be able to stay there. Gaddy Elmany is going to have slipstream on Royce Crown. Royce Crown going to have slipstream on David Albon. Here we go. He obviously might have a little bit better straight line speed because he actually has a little less downforce with that front end play off. Here he comes with the slipstream. He's definitely gaining. So here we go down through here. But yeah, Royce Crown is going to suffer in the corners. As here we go down onto the front stretch once again, hovering around 9/10 the gap right now. I just don't see Royce Crown staying in this DRS range. DRS enabled this lap, but I don't think Royce Crown's going to stay there with David Albon. He's going to have to if he's going to try to win this, but I don't know if he's going to be able to. David Albon, yep, pulls away through those corners. You need downforce there. This is interesting. Just watch this gap if Royce Crown could just stay in that DRS range. He's just barely there right now, but it's not going to stay there for much longer because, yep, through here, downforce really required right here. Is Royce Crown gonna definitely lose some time probably. Gains on the braking, but loses it on the exit. As here we go, 1.3 seconds. That's where David Albon is just so good. He's good through that chicane. Gaddy Elmany right there on the rear gearbox. He's going to have DRS. As here we go, down into here. Here comes Gaddy Elmany. Here we go. Down onto the strip once again on lap 13. Here comes Gaddy Elmany with the slipstream, with the DRS. Here we go. DRS open. Here he comes. Here we go. Gets slipstream. There's the DRS. Here we go. Gets the run. Good run from the Sauber. Can he clear him before the corner? Here we go. Yes, he does. Gaddy Elmany up to P2. Oh, that was the Ferrari that went a little deep. Both the Williams and the Ferrari went a little deep. It's a Sauber up into P2. And not too far away from the Aston Martin. Gaddy Elmany might be able to get into that DRS range. Trying to just crawl, try to get into that DRS range. As also he sets the fastest lap. Gaddy Elmany. Gaddy Elmany definitely has the pace here on David Albon. He could definitely do this. Here we go. Down into the braking zone here. You see the sphere right next to them. So here we go, fighting for position here. Oh, no, Royce Crown has issues. Royce Crown, not sure what happened, but something happened, and he's down to P6 and down to dead last. But looking at the gap once again, Gaddy Elmany trying to just get there, try to get in that DRS with the Aston Martin. But you see that Aston Martin's just so good through that chicane. It's just, yeah, that Aston Martin, it's really set up for the corners, I can tell. So here we go, lap 14 here in Las Vegas. 1.8 seconds the gap. I just don't think Gaddy Elmany is going to be able to get there. That Aston Martin's trying to run away with this. Trevor Massey has gotten up into the podium places. Landon Barrett now P4. It is Elijah Wheeler P5 and Royce Crown P6 just behind these two. or at least 3, I should say. Here we go, down onto the front stretch once again. You see the gap definitely extending between David Albon and Gaddy Albany. Here we go, lap 15 here in Las Vegas. All right, here we go, lap 15. 1.8 seconds the gap between the Aston Martin and Gaddy Albany. All right, here we go. Oh, those Sauber that looked for a move on Trevor Massey. Here we go. The Sauber around the outside, entering the chicane, not able to get there. He almost was able to get there. Landon Barrow might be able to go for his first podium. This is a very good performance from the both Saubers. So here we go. Down into the sweeping corners once again. Landon Barrow now going to have DRS on Trevor Massey. So here we go. 3 cars under a blanket here on lap 15. Landon Barrow now riding on board with the Sauber. Fight for the podium is on. Here we go. Landon Barrow now going to have DRS here and a little bit of slipstream. He gains, gaining into the braking zone. Not able to get there though. He gains through the chicane but loses time on exit. Trevor Massey running a little low on ERS. Here we go. Down the front stretch once again. Landon Barrow now really trying to get there on the Ferrari, but not able to quite get there. Here we go. Down through the sweeping corners here in Las Vegas. Landon Barrow now trying to get there. 4/10 the gap with DRS. Here comes Landon Barrow now. Gonna gain a lot here into the braking zone. Thought about the move there. Wasn't able to get there. The ball there. All 3 of them tapped the wall there. No harm, no foul those. Here we go. Down into here. All right. So Landon Barrow now right there on the rear gearbox of the Ferrari. But also the other Ferrari right there on the rear gearbox of the Sauber. Here we go. Yeah, I think Landon Barrow now is in better shape than he was earlier. Here we go. Oh, there's a little bit of shuffling right there. It's the Ferrari of Trevor Massey goes a little bit wide there, misses the apex. Here comes Landon Barrow now with slipstream. Here we go. He's going to have a run here. How much DRS does he have, though? Doesn't look like he has a lot, but that DRS might help him. But here comes Elijah Wheeler. Going to have a big run. Will he go for it? Goes for the dive. Oh, a little bit of swipe from the kick Sauber. Side by side. And they're into the wall. They didn't wreck. That was a really awkward moment between the two. But now they lose touch to Trevor Massey. Well, now the top 3 is basically set right now, but still 4th is definitely not set because also Royce Crown is also starting to catch up to these two. But yeah, they're the bottom 3, 4th, 5th, and 6th. They all have a front end play off. So here comes Elijah Wheeler looking. Oh, that was a big swipe from Landon Barrow. Now once again moving under braking. That might need to be reviewed. This is definitely very aggressive defending from Landon Barrow now. Here we go, lap 17 here in Las Vegas. This is great fighting between these two. Here we go, a little slide from Landon Barrow now. Here comes Elijah Wheeler with a run. Elijah Wheeler trying to get there, trying to do everything he can to try to get there on the strip, but it's not quite in striking range, and he's definitely running along here. I see the rear light flashing right into his rear wing. Now it's off. Now he's gonna have some ERS and DRS. Here he comes. Oh, big run from the Ferrari. A lot of defending, though. Here we go. The Sauber chases them all the way down to the inside wall, but it can't stop the Ferrari from getting around into P4. Ferrari of Elijah Wheeler goes up to P4. Lena Bear now though trying to get back up to the fourth position. Here we go to the outside and the King side by side. Side by side as we head through turn one. Once again, this is very entertaining. You're watching the battle for P4, and with this Royce Crown, don't look now, he's starting to catch up. Here comes Landon Bear now once again with the slipstream. Oh, lots of defending. Here comes Bear now to the inside, not able to get there. That was a super aggressive racing, almost a little dangerous with how much they are defending. This could definitely end in a crash, and I wouldn't be surprised that if these two take each other out and cause a safety car. But we'll see. Maybe they can keep it clean. But Royce Crown catching up to these two. We're going to have another 3-car fight once again. But instead of Trevor Massey, it's going to be Royce Crown. Here we go. Landon Bear now going to have DRS here, but how much DRS did he charge up for the strip? Did he charge up enough? He's using that ERS. He's right on the rear gearbox. Here he comes. To the outside, goes to the wall, and there they go! How did they not see enough? That's a safety car, though. Debris on the track, that's safety car. I thought they were out of the session. This is just crazy racing. It's a 3-second penalty for Elijah Wheeler. It's actually David Albon makes the call, goes to the pit lane to go for mediums. Actually, no. Was that mediums or softs? That was softs. It's also Landon Bear now 10-second penalty for severe collision with Elijah Wheeler. Not sure what is happening in the back. We have gotten our 3rd safety car tonight. What is happening in Las Vegas tonight? It's the only car that did not pit is Gadiomini. Gadiomini might be in trouble here. He probably should have came into the pit lane to go for fresh tires. But he is going to get track position here. This is going to be interesting to watch. Oh! To get him to hit the safety car there. It looks like he didn't get any damage or anything from that, but yeah, goodness. Yeah, after the race, the Ferrari and the Sauber definitely, Elijah Wheeler and Landon Bear now they're definitely gonna get reviewed after all that racing. That was quite the aggressiveness there. But all right, here we go. Once again, we're going to restart with only a few laps to go. Gadiomini on worn hard tires while everyone else, well, look here. What am I doing? Alright, here we go. So Elijah Wheeler also on hards, but Gadiomini is the only one on old tires. Because, yeah, it's Aston Martin of David Albon, Trevor Massey, Royce Crown, and Landon Bear now all on the medium tires, whilst Gadiomini and Elijah Wheeler on the hard tires. This is going to get exciting. How fast will that Aston Martin be able to get around the Sauber? We'll have to see. Yeah, I still do not know how the Ferrari and Sauber weren't out of the race there. I thought they were both taking each other out. I thought they were both out, but jeez. But all right, here we go. Safety car gonna probably be in this lap, so we're gonna have 5 laps of racing to decide who's gonna win the Las Vegas Grand Prix. This really changes everything. Alright, here we go. They pace down the straightaway here. So they're gonna restart lap 21 if the safety car comes in this lap. Alright. Here we go. They pace into the chicane. Alright. Well, here we go. Safety car hopefully in this lap. It's going to be Gaddy on old tires, while the rest are on fresh tires. Will Gaddy be able to hang on? It's going to be interesting to watch. All right, field paces through the sweeping corners. All right, here we go. They paced down the strip here. Will the safety car be in this lap? I don't see a reason why it wouldn't. Everyone's caught up. All right, here we go. This is going to get exciting. Once again, Gaddy on old tires. Also safety car this lap. Gaddy on old tires while the rest on fresh tires. All right, here we go. Safety car in this lap. 5 laps of racing to decide who's going to win the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Here we go. Gaddy when will he go? Sorry, here we go. Back to wreck racing here. Gaddy leads us to the green. Good jump from the Sauber. He did his job. Here comes Trevor Massey to the inside of David Albon. You know they want to be the one to get around Gaddy. Here comes the Aston Martin. Tried to make the move there. Round the outside goes the Ferrari. Trevor Massey round the outside of David Albon. He takes me too. Here we go. Here comes David Albon, sending it back to the inside though. David Albon back up to P2. That didn't last long. Here he comes, looking to the inside of the Sauber. There's a little bit of contact. As though the Sauber got pushed wide. He's sideways. The Ferrari sideways. As though David Albon takes the lead. As there's chaos in the chicane. Gaddy now down to P2. Royce Crown, P3. Here he comes to the outside. Royce Crown trying to get there. Here comes Royce Crown. They make contact entering the strip, but Royce Crown gets up to P2. But now they're on DRS to the Aston Martin of David Albon. Here we go. Here comes Trevor Massey looking on Gaddy Gaddy falling through the field like a rock with old tires. And at this point, I don't think another safety car can come out. There's also, what a move from Trevor Massey. Goes up to P2. Trevor Massey up to P2. 1.4 seconds behind behind David Albon. Will he have anything to say for David Albon here? David Albon has dominated this race, but Trevor Massey trying to get there. About 1.5 seconds, though. He's going to have to gain half a second here if he's going to try to get in that DRS range. And if he can, he could definitely be in contention to win this race. Because they have, Trevor Massey has good pace, but I don't know if he's good enough, though. So, all right, here we go. Trevor Massey is going to have to put together the best 4 laps of his life to try to catch up to David Albon. He's losing time, though, through the chicane. It just doesn't look likely right now. Yeah, about 2 seconds the gap, getting close to 2 seconds. Royce Crown right there, though. The fight for P2 is definitely going to be on. So, all right, here we go. Here we go, down onto the strip once again. We're going to go to 3 laps to go at the line. All right, here we go. Royce Crown with the DRS, with the slipstream. Here he comes to the inside of Trevor Massey. Trevor Massey goes down to P3 and down to the bottom step of the podium. But here comes Royce Crown. Royce Crown, will he be able to hang on to P2 here? Did they both not get DRS? I don't know if any of them got DRS. But heading down into here, Royce Crown goes up to P2. Royce Crown has just been from the back of the field to the front, to the back of the field to the front, and he's now trying to finish at the front. And here we go, 3 laps to go here in Las Vegas. David Albon running away with this victory, but the fight for P2 is on because here comes Trevor Massey with the DRS here down the straightaway. Trevor Massey, he's going to look to the outside of Royce Crown, side by side. Trevor Massey looking to the inside, now into the inside of Royce Crown. Here we go, side by side. Landon Bear now might be able to challenge for P4 here, or P2. He's P4 right now, trying to challenge for P2. So here we go. Trevor Massey trying to hang on to P2, but it's not going to be possible with how close Royce Crown is right now. He's looking, might go to the inside. No, not going to get there. He had a look there, but he wants to stay behind to get that DRS side by side. They're drag racing down the strip. Here comes Landon Bear now. How aggressive will he be? He's been aggressive all race long. Here he comes. He goes up to P3. He has DRS on the Ferrari. Here we go. They both have DRS side by side, but Royce Crown goes back up to P3 and he goes for P2. Thinks better of the move though. Heading on to 2 laps to go here in Las Vegas. Trevor Massey trying to stay in that second position. Here we go. Through the kink and on to 2 laps to go. Here is crunch time here in Las Vegas if you're going to try to get to P2. All right, here we go. Here we go. They've all they'll get the DRS here. You're going to get DRS down this straightaway here. All right, DRS. They got DRS on the Ferrari here as they head down into the braking zone here, heading up into the chicane for the penultimate time. Here we go. So 3 cars under a blanket once again. Here is all right. Here we go down into the sweeping corners. Trevor Massey trying to hang on, but I don't know if it's gonna be possible. But we said that last lap, and he did hang on. But here comes Royce Crown right there. Oh, Landon Bear now goes to the inside. He makes the move, but he backs out. Royce Crown is going to have the DRS here. He's going to have a run. Royce Crown likely going to get up to P2 here. Here we go. Down the strip, here halfway down the strip and heading down into the braking zone. Here comes Royce Crown, gaining, goes to the inside of the Ferrari, makes the lunge, a big lunge, but he goes deep. It's a crossover from the Ferrari, as well as there's contact. Was that bodywork that flew off the Williams? Yes, it was. As here comes Landon Bear now, looking inside. Landon Bear now goes up to the podium, but Royce Crown, as we head on to the final lap of the race, as Royce Crown with wing damage, or actually doesn't have wing damage. I thought it looked like there was wing damage on the Williams, but he still goes down to P4. But here we go. The Aston Martin running away, 7 seconds the gap with 5 laps of racing, basically. He's pulled out to a 7-second gap. But here we go. Oh, contact between the Williams and the Sauber. That's wing damage from the kick Sauber. Can Landon Bear now hang on for his first podium? Oh, that's just going to have to nurse that thing around. Here comes Elijah Wheeler entering the mix. Here we go. It's all going to come down to the strip. Landon Bear now, he might get DRS. Will he get DRS? I don't know if he's going to get DRS here. He needs to, and he likely will. But Royce Crown's going to have slipstream. But Landon Bear now is right there. But that Ferrari was charging up that ERS. I don't think it's going to be enough for Landon Bear now to get to P2. But maybe he's right there. Here comes Landon Bear now. Here we go, down in the braking zone one final time. Will there be any moves? Will Landon Bear now go for the send? No, he will not. Right there in the rear gearbox. But heading onto the front stretch, David Albon. 3 in a row for David Albon. He wins the Las Vegas Grand Prix, sweeps the U.S. races. But for the fight for P2, here we go. Up to the line. Trevor Massey P2, Landon Bear now P3, Royce Crown P4, the Ferrari of Elijah Wheeler P5, and Gatti Almani P6. What a race. My goodness. That was an insane race for P2. It was anyone's game right there on that final lap. Anyways, podium ceremonies start now. And if that isn't the race of the season, I don't know what is. But all right, here we go. The results on your screen. The Aston Martin David Albon wins by 9 seconds over the Ferrari of Trevor Massey. Then Landon Barrino, Royce Crown, then Gary Yelmany, Elijah Wheeler, and the 2B cars, Christian Severson, and Michael Mora, who both end up with a DNF. So we're gonna go ahead into interviews, and then we're gonna have burnouts for Sam Lewis because he is obviously champion. So yeah, we'll go ahead and do interviews first. We'll also get an interview from Sam Lewis. But all right. So we're gonna have a little bit of a longer stream here with all the Sam Lewis stuff. But alright, we're gonna go ahead into interviews though first. Alright. We're gonna head into interviews. Alright. Hang in the interview room now. I'm gonna give it a sec for some people to join.
Can I get interviewed even though I crashed?
Yeah, you can.
Bro, where's this camera?
Alright. Alright, we'll go ahead and start interviews. So yeah, we'll go ahead. We'll start with Michael Morris. Michael Moore, you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, so overall, it was pretty unfortunate there with that crash. So walk me through what happened there. And you're obviously 3 wide in that in that sweeping corner right before the chicane. So yeah, just walk me through that crash and how it took you out of the race.
So good qualifying, started P2. I went for the hards for the long run and then go on the mediums to be quicker at the end. Obviously it didn't work with the crash that happened. I was just being patient, letting you guys wear out your tires. And then the one time I got aggressive because he kind of messed up a little bit. I stuck the nose in, expecting space, but he closed it, tried to back out, made contact, hit my teammate, hit him again, and then hit the wall, and I went out.
Yep. Well, we have so we have what is it next? We have, oh my gosh, we have Abu Dhabi next. So yeah, how do you think you'll do at Abu Dhabi?
Not my best track, to be honest. I'm not too bad, but I'm probably not gonna get a podium, but I'm pretty slow. But I'm just hoping for points and not another crash.
Yep. All right. Go ahead and move on to Gadi Elmany. So Gadi Elmany, ready?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Gadiman, he had good speed overall this race, but unfortunately on old tires on that last safety car restart, he just kind of fell through the field. So yeah, just walk me through that race and how you finished P6.
I was feeling very confident about that race. I could see him fighting with David Albon. He's really quick. Um, I just keep getting hit from behind. I had slight wing damage, if I'm correct, almost the whole race. I just didn't decide to change it, and after the last safety car, I was just downhill from there. Got taken out by my teammate. Um, it was just a horrible race. After that, it's just nothing else to say about it.
Yep. Well, you still show good speed in Vegas. So do you think you can translate that speed into Abu Dhabi?
Yeah, it's Abu Dhabi is one of my better tracks, so I feel like I could do something, maybe a podium if I went taken out by my teammate again. Uh, I think I could do good there.
Yep. All right, we'll go ahead and move on to your 5th place finisher, Elijah Wheeler. So Elijah Wheeler, you ready?
Here. What's up?
All right. So legendary, yeah, you had a pretty solid race. You avoided a lot of the chaos, and you did get involved in a little bit with Landon Bear now, but yeah, that last safety car did kind of benefit. You were able to get a spot and get to P5. So yeah, just walk me through that race and what it was like battling with Landon Bear now.
Um, I would say when the race started, it was pretty solid. I had a pretty decent start. Um, I don't remember everything fully since I was so locked in and focused, but I know when we were on the straight, that's what I really remember. We were on the straight. He tried to pass me, no room. I was on the right, close to the wall. He tried to find space. Didn't work out for him. He lost his front wing, which caused a safety car, which didn't work out for me either. And then when the safety car ended, had to restart and then just drop back like a bunch of places. I was really anticipating probably P4, P3 at the most, and I was probably expecting myself to get higher for qualifying, but it just didn't really land.
Yep. So yeah, we have Abu Dhabi next. How do you think you'll do in Abu Dhabi?
Um, I think I'll do pretty solid. Maybe P6, P7. But if I really lock in, because I'm really good on that track. So if I really lock in, maybe a P4. You'll never know.
Yep. All right, go ahead and move on to Royce Crown, who's your P4 finisher. So Royce Crown, you ready?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was quite an intense battle for P2 there on those closing laps. You also pretty much you had a few moments you pretty much went from the back to the front to the back to the front. So yeah, just walk me through what it was like just getting your way back up to the front with all those mistakes and yeah, just walk me through that race.
Terrible, terrible race. Qualifying was well, it was on course to be fine, and then I tried to get out of the way for Ferraris, and that didn't happen, and we collided. I didn't get a second lap in, but yeah, race start was slow. I just wanted to play passive, and then first safety car comes out. I was already in the pits for hards from the spin right at the beginning, and then from there it would do my best to to make my way through. I got rear-ended a couple times. I dropped a couple seconds back. Um, Albert was on a crash course for absolute maximum fucking terrorism. Um, so that was pretty chaotic. But no, good battle. Just I hope in the future some of these guys will be a little more clean in the braking zones and keeping to their lines in the braking zones. But other than that, it was an alright race.
Yep. So we have Abu Dhabi coming up next. How do you think you'll do in Abu Dhabi?
I don't really have hope for Abu Dhabi. Not one of my best tracks, so we'll see what happens.
Yep. I'll go ahead and move on to your third place finisher, Landon Bear now. So Landon Bear, now you ready?
Yep.
Yeah, so you're overall really aggressive all race, but I guess it did kind of play on your favor because you did get up to that third position. You were able to score a podium, which I believe was your first podium. So yeah, just walk me through that race and what it was like battling for that second position and also battling Elijah Wheeler.
The one comment he said on the backstretch, um, I bounced off the wall and then I hit him, which caused me to go airborne. That was that instant. Um, I don't know if it was him or his teammate, but twice in the going into the chicane on the back stretch, he sends it in on me, forcing me to go off, or we make contact, or I make contact with the wall. Um, and with I I do apologize to Crown about this, but when you are getting sent every single race and you race is ruined midway or early on in a race, and you don't have a chance to contend like tonight, which finally I do. But that podium finish probably should be taken away, in my opinion. But um, what do I call it? This over aggressive driving does that to you when you all that built up. I guess I don't know. Um, Not my best performance tonight, but it is what it is. You gotta do what you gotta do with this field in general because this field races 100% 24/7. They don't like to stay online and train. So
Yeah. So we have Las Vegas. Sorry, we have sorry, what am I saying? We have Abu Dhabi coming up next. So how do you do? How do you think you'll do at Abu Dhabi?
probably not good. Not one of my good tracks. Probably be in contention for probably for fifth or sixth, but we'll see.
Yep. I'll go ahead and move on to your second place finisher, Trevor Massey. So Trevor Massey, ready?
Hello.
So yeah, Trevor Massey, you had a pretty solid run tonight. You overall put the car in qualifying in a pretty solid spot, and you're able to finish in a really good P2 finish. So yeah, Trevor Massey, just walk me through that race. How you able to finish P2?
Well, earlier today I had a league at Las Vegas, so I had some practice, I guess. And then I felt like I had a good setup and pace today. My teammate was helping me defend in the back. That Landon, I think so it was behind me, which helped me pull away before that second safety car, the third safety car. I felt like I could have won if I could have got around Dot 2 quicker, but I tried making a move and it didn't go through and I backed out. But second place is still really good because I hadn't got a podium all season. And I've gotten like fourth 2 times, so I'm really happy with the podium.
Yep. So we have Abu Dhabi coming up next. How do you think he'll do there?
It's probably my best track, so I think I should do pretty good again.
Yep. All right, we'll go ahead and move on to your race winner. Your third in a row for David Albon. You ready? So yeah, David Albon was a really dominant race overall tonight in Las Vegas, as pretty much usual now at this point. But yeah, you go three in a row in Las Vegas. So just walk me through how you're able to dominate Las Vegas.
Trying to make me crash out for one, because I would always get up to like a 5-6 second lead, and then the safety car would come out, just nulling and voiding everything, every single thing I did up to that point, which is fantastic. But honestly, was kind of nervous once the Ferrari passed me on the last safety car. I genuinely thought, I was like, oh man, this ain't great. But then I kind of made a little bit of a dive bomb, but it was clean. I didn't hit him. And then the move I made on the slower Sauber that was on the slower tires, absolute cinema. That was probably one of the best moves I've ever done in my racing career into that chicane. So that kind of felt good. But yeah, I'm happy for the most part with how the race went. Not really too much complaints. Just wish the safety cars weren't coming out every 5 seconds, but you know, you're gonna have that sometimes.
Yep. So we have Abu Dhabi coming up next. Do you think he can get four in a row in Abu Dhabi?
What's going to happen in F1 racing, but I know Abu Dhabi is one of my better tracks, so I'm definitely gonna try my best.
Yep. All right. Actually, I want to correct myself. I think it's actually wait. I think that'd be five in a row. But yeah. Anyways, yeah. Thank you, David Albon. And yeah, we're gonna go ahead and move on to your world champion in season one. We haven't heard from him in a little bit, but Sam Lewis. So yeah, Sam Lewis, you ready?
Hey. Yeah, let's do this.
Yep. So Sam Lewis, you are champion of the world in season one. So, yeah, just obviously you're obviously really dominant all season until you obviously stopped racing. So, Yeah, just I mean, just that. Just walk me through your thoughts on how season one went for you, and how much momentum it gave you, maybe going on to like other leagues, and how this championship maybe gave you some more momentum.
So basically, first off, I was just wanted to say thank you to everyone I raced with. It was really fun. I know I was a bit too dominant, so I just wanted to let everyone else have a chance. But yeah, the 13 wins I got in a row is pretty much damage done. That's just what helped me win this thing. But yeah, I really appreciate racing with everyone. This was a great season. Yeah, I'm not gonna race here anymore, but it was a really good league to race in for the 13 races I was in. I moved on to different leagues now. I'm a lot quicker in F125, so this has helped me a lot. Have better pace and just move on up to higher levels. So, yeah, thank you to everyone, and this feels a lot. This means a lot to me.
Yep. All right. I don't really know what else to really ask. But yeah, I think we should just go ahead and get into the this is the donuts. So Sam Lee's ready to do some donuts.
Yeah, sounds good. Let's go do it.
All right. I'm gonna go. All right. So we're gonna go ahead. All right. So yeah, what we're gonna do, we're gonna make just a separate lobby. With just me and Sam. So yeah, Sam will be able to do burnouts. So I'll have a little bit of an intermission here. All right. All right. Just gonna hear the F124 music in the background, but yeah, just creating the lobby right now. All right. Okay. So obviously, gonna be a little bit of a longer stream because we're doing this. Um, okay. Should be good. Oh shoot. Oh. All right. Oh shoot. What I'm selling. Okay. Well, I have to remake the lobby because I messed up. Oh my goodness. Apologies to anyone watching. This is kind of a. All right, there we go. Oh, never mind. We don't need it. Just gonna. There we go. I think that'll work. Okay. Okay. Now we're getting it worked out. Alright. Obviously, this is the first time Formal Legion has done this, so just bear with us. Okay, I don't know why it's a race, but alright. Alright. Almost there.
Okay, you've got a drive-through penalty. You've been given a drive-through penalty.
Alright. So we're gonna go ahead. Alright. We are here. Oh, shoot. Just trying to. I don't know what I'm doing. But you see Sam Lewis doing his burnouts here. He's going to do a little victory lap here in Vegas. Alright. There we go. Alright. There's Sam Lewis, your champion of the world in Season 1. See, does some drifts. Oh, wrecked the car there. But Sam Lewis. Okay, I don't know why it's doing that, but alright. Sam Lewis doing his victory lap here in Vegas. Yeah, Sam Lewis obviously dominated for Allegiant in back like a few races ago. Obviously, from race 1 to 13, he won all of them plus the sprints, and that was enough pretty much to give him the world championship because Jonathan was not able to make up enough points. Oh, there's the wrecked car there. Thankfully, damage isn't on. I sort of rushed at making this lobby, so I don't really know all the settings that's on, but yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Sam Lewis. Not much to really commentate, but yeah, Sam Lewis gonna shortly do his burnouts here. There he goes, doing his burnouts on the front stretch here in Vegas. Alright. And that will do it for Sam Lewis's burnouts. Congrats to Sam Lewis, champion of the world in Season 1. He may be able to do some more burnouts in Abu Dhabi, or not Abu Dhabi, Brazil. But, yep. All right, well, that's pretty much gonna do it from Las Vegas. Had a champion crown tonight, and yep, we'll have I have Abu Dhabi coming up next Friday, 7:30 Eastern time, 6:30 Central time, and 4:30 Pacific time. So you do not want to miss Abu Dhabi. We'll see if anyone can stop David Albon's dominance here. But yep. All right. Well, that will pretty much do it from me in Las Vegas. So thank you to everyone that was watching, and